On Wednesday, Jana and John David, who are twins, celebrated their 32nd birthdays, but their family did not celebrate with them in any significant way. Jana and John David Duggar have experienced the consequences of the rest of the family spending less time online since Josh Duggar was found guilty of child pornography charges. This has occurred several weeks after the verdict was handed down. No one reached out to Jana or John David online to celebrate with them, despite the fact that they have a particularly large family. They did not have any birthday tributes from their family or friends that they could reshare on their own Instagram pages, despite the fact that both of them are involved on Instagram. Despite the fact that members of the Duggar family have been posting less on social media after the finding of guilty was handed down, many of them have continued to provide updates on their family or holiday events, such as Christmas and New Year's. Due to the fact that their 32nd birthday was not one of the holidays that anyone chose to honor with a social media post, the twins were ignored by their siblings and parents, despite the fact that they were on Counting On. Jana revealed that she had the opportunity to spend some time out and about with her mother Michelle and a few of her sisters just a few days before her birthday. She shared some photographs from their lunch and shopping excursion, in which they were laughing and smiling for the camera in the restaurant, and then they posed for the camera inside one of the stores that they went to. Jana Duggar, who is the only adult daughter of the Duggar family who is still living at home and is not married, posted a mysterious message prior to her 32nd birthday, in which she referred to herself as bitter. Despite the fact that she is the oldest daughter in the family, she is still living in the property that her family owns in Arkansas, and she is forbidden to leave until she eventually gets married. The letter was shared on social media by Jana, and it featured what appeared to be a photograph of the celebrity on the beach with her back turned to the camera. The tweet was eventually shared on Reddit, where fans expressed their sympathy for the television personality, assuming that the phrase was referring to her romantic relationship status. Despite the fact that her other adult siblings are often making announcements regarding their marriages and babies, Jana has not yet tied the knot, which is a rare occurrence in basic Baptist circles. One individual made the observation. She's 32 in a few days and shares a bedroom with 4 preteens and teenagers whose diapers she once changed. Another person responded, "I just can't even begin to imagine. Even the fact that she is still operating at all is somewhat remarkable." In January of last year, a source disclosed to The Sun in an exclusive interview that Jana was adamant on getting married, despite the fact that she is not permitted to leave the house she shares with her family until she has found a husband. The insider went on to expand, stating, "Jana is very independent and more alpha in comparison to her sisters, but she won't be able to get a place of her own until she meets someone that her family approves of. It is frowned upon, it is ludicrous, but it has always been the case that the Duggars would not approve with her going out and living alone, or living with a friend or partner. Due to the fact that they are so devout, they would not endorse her decision. She has a strong desire to leave the nest, but it is difficult for her to do so since she needs to find the ideal partner, which is a goal for all of the sisters, and she despises being the last sister to be on her own. Jana likes doing things on her own and enjoys DIY. She's not the type who needs looking after in any way, but she's really ready to move out and live her own life." While this is going on, her identical twin brother has been married for a number of years now. Grace, the couple's daughter, was born a couple of years after they tied the knot in 2018. He and his wife, Abby Burnett, got married in 2018. Recently, the 3 individuals shared a few cute family photographs that they had taken while celebrating Christmas. In one photograph, they can be seen smiling as they stand outside beneath a walkway that is all decked up in Christmas lights and decorations. Another picture captured John David and Abby cuddled close under the lights for a sweet couple photo as they posed for the camera. On October 28, 2023, twins Jana Duggar and John David Duggar, once 2 of the most publicly visible members of the Duggar family, celebrated their 32nd birthday in a manner that seemed to be eerily quiet. No public celebrations, no touching social media tributes from the rest of the Duggar family, and no family gatherings to commemorate the special day. Instead, both Jana and John David appeared to face yet another year of growing isolation, not just from the media spectacle that had once surrounded their family, but also from the very people who should have been closest to them. While this may seem like a minor detail to some, for the Duggar children, a family that has been in the spotlight for decades due to the hit reality show 19 Kids and Counting and its spin-off Counting On, birthdays have historically been major events. These celebrations were not just an opportunity to mark another year, but to reinforce the familial bonds that were, at one point, a central part of their public identity. However, this year, the silence around Jana and John David's birthday was deafening. A look at the Duggar family dynamics. The Duggar family, particularly in recent years, has faced increasing public scrutiny and shifting dynamics. Once portrayed as a tight-knit unit whose members worked, prayed, and lived their lives in close harmony, the Duggar children, now adults, have increasingly distanced themselves from their parents, Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, and the family's ultra-conservative values. For Jana and John David, the 32nd birthday snub is only one example of the complex, sometimes painful, family dynamics that have evolved in recent years. Jana Duggar, often dubbed the oldest daughter and the second mother in the Duggar household, was frequently the subject of praise for her seemingly selfless nature. Her role as a caretaker for her many younger siblings was often portrayed on the family's reality shows. Fans watched as Jana put her own desires on hold to manage household chores and take care of her younger siblings, all while dealing with the pressures of living under the Duggar family's strict, traditional expectations. These pressures intensified after Jana's relationship with the family seemed to become strained, particularly as her personal life began to diverge from the path set by her parents. John David Duggar, her twin brother, has always been seen as the more independent of the two. He has lived a relatively quiet life compared to his other siblings, opting to become a pilot and start a family with his wife, Abby Grace Burnett. However, while he may not have faced the same level of public scrutiny as Jana, he too has experienced the consequences of the Duggar family's internal rifts. The silent snub. What happened on their 32nd birthday? While birthday celebrations are often a time for family to come together, there was no such coming together for Jana and John David on their 32nd birthday. Both siblings shared minimal social media posts, which, in a family where social media is used as a primary means of communication, is telling in itself. John David posted a solitary message thanking God for another year of life, while Jana, who has historically kept a low profile on her special day, shared a simple and reflective post as well. However, it was what happened, or rather didn't happen, behind the scenes that speaks volumes about the state of the Duggar family's current relationships. Neither Jana nor John David received public birthday wishes from their parents or many of their siblings on their 32nd birthday. The Duggar family, known for making heartfelt birthday tributes for each member, was conspicuously silent. This silence raises a number of questions. Had the siblings done something to alienate their parents or other family members? Were there unspoken tensions that led to this omission? Or was the lack of celebration simply another symptom of a deeper rift between Jana, John David, and the rest of the family? The Duggars, a family in crisis. In recent years, the Duggar family has been through several public scandals and controversies that have tested the strength of their unity. From the revelations surrounding eldest son Josh Duggar's criminal behavior to the constant scrutiny of the family's ultra-conservative beliefs, tensions have undoubtedly been running high. Jana and John David, however, have largely stayed out of the media frenzy. Yet, this has not shielded them from the impact of the family's troubles. As they enter their 30s, both siblings have had to navigate the shifting tides of their own identities within a family that expects conformity, obedience, and public devotion to the family's brand. For Jana, her failure to marry and start a family at a time when her younger siblings were rushing into these milestones only heightened her sense of isolation. The Duggar family, with its emphasis on marriage and procreation, often placed immense pressure on its children to follow traditional gender roles. As the years went by and Jana remained single, the lack of support from her parents and siblings became more palpable. Could it be that the silence on her birthday is a manifestation of this growing rift? For John David, while he did marry and have a child, his life choices have often been overshadowed by his more outspoken siblings. John David and Jana both watched as their family members built large, often controversial platforms, whether through reality TV, social media influence, or other ventures. The quietness surrounding their birthday may also point to the perception that they don't fit in with the family's current dynamics. Another sibling is particularly vocal on social media, and their low-key lifestyles may not align with the more public-facing pursuits of their siblings, adding to the feeling of disconnection. The Duggar siblings, struggling with identity and independence. Over the years, many of the Duggar children have begun to carve out their own paths, albeit often in subtle ways. Some have left the family fold entirely, distancing themselves from the more extreme interpretations of their parents' beliefs. Others have taken to social media or started businesses to build their own personal brands. Yet, for Jana and John David, the constant balancing act between staying true to their upbringing and embracing a more independent, individualistic identity has likely caused significant friction. The question arises, is the Duggar family experiencing a fracture because of differing values, or is it simply a natural evolution of the children growing up and moving away from their parents' influence? Jana, in particular, has become a figure of public empathy. Her quiet demeanor, her long wait for marriage, and her independent lifestyle have all become points of interest for fans. As she enters her 30s, the pressure to conform to traditional expectations only seems to weigh more heavily on her. Whether it's her parents' silent treatment or the subtle distance between her and her siblings, it's clear that Jana's life choices and her personal journey have not been entirely embraced by the family. Similarly, John David, who once seemed like the least controversial of the Duggar children, has also faced challenges in a family that is built around rigid gender roles and traditional values. While his marriage to Abby Burnett was a high point for him, the fact that it didn't catapult him into the media spotlight in the same way that other Duggar weddings have might also be seen as a point of contention. John David's more low-key personality likely makes him less of a central figure in the Duggar family's brand, but it may also leave him feeling more disconnected from the public-facing side of his family. The impact of social media on family relationships. In a family as large as the Duggars, social media has played a significant role in how relationships are formed, maintained, and publicized. Social media posts on birthdays, holidays, and other events have allowed the Duggar children to stay connected with one another, despite the vast geographical distances that now separate them. However, as seen on Jana and John David's 32nd birthday, the lack of public acknowledgement on such an important occasion highlights the potential tensions within the family. It's possible that the Duggar children's increasing use of social media is contributing to their sense of individualism, but it also underscores the growing divide between public and private personas. The silence on Jana and John David's birthday is a reminder that, while social media can create the illusion of connection, it can also deepen isolation when families are dealing with unresolved conflicts or unspoken grievances. The future for Jana and John David. As Jana and John David continue to navigate their 30s, it's clear that they face challenges both within their family and in the public eye. While the world continues to scrutinize their every move, it's important to remember that, at the core of it all, they are still people dealing with the very human experience of family, identity, and growth. For Jana, the pressure to live up to her family's expectations may continue to feel like an insurmountable weight. For John David, the struggle to carve out his own identity outside of the family's spotlight may leave him feeling like a secondary figure. Still, their lives are far from over. As they continue to grow, learn, and evolve, their paths may ultimately lead to greater independence, happiness, and fulfillment, whether within the Duggar family or outside of it. For now, though, their 32nd birthday will remain a poignant reminder of the isolation they face and the complexities of family life that many may never fully understand. The silence from the Duggar family may speak volumes, but it also speaks to the broader narrative of change, growth, and the inevitable drift that occurs in every family, no matter how large or famous.